Wild Coast FM, your community connection.
I've got Sandy in the studio with me, and today we're talking about delicious things. So Sandy, welcome. Hello.
Hi. How are you doing, Finola?
Well, thanks. Have you got high energy today?
Yes, full of energy today. I've been up early trying to get my painting organised for my stoop, which didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but it's going to go that way soon.
Well, talking about some more high energy, you've got some great Christmas things for us.
Yes, I thought this Christmas cake that I make is such an easy one. Now, you want things that are easy. Well, I like things that are easy. I don't like complicated things.
Exactly. And you were saying this is about the time of the year that's the right time to make a Christmas cake.
Yes, you should make one now. If you want to make it now.
Okay, perfect.
And it's wonderful. You keep dousing it with a little bit of brandy.
Yes.
And it'll be wonderful for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I never put icing on mine, but you can if you want to. I don't have a recipe for that. But this is a very nice fruitcake recipe and very easy. Okay. So I'm going to give it again. I almost think I've done it over a year or so ago. I'm not too sure. But I'll check on my Facebook page.
Okay.
If it's there, I'll tell you. If it's not, I'll put it on anyway.
Perfect.
Okay. And it's very easy. You start off with a large packet of cake mix, which is about 500 gram fruit cake mix. Okay. You buy the mixed, the one at the supermarket.
Yes.
And then you just need a packet of dates, which is a 250 gram packet. You need half a pound of butter, it says. This is an old recipe. You may use half a pound, which is, oh my goodness, what is that, 500? No.
I was wondering, 500 grams. Yeah, because I don't know about
I think it is. I think, 250. I'm not too sure. I'll double check on that. Sorry, folks. That's my fault, But anyway, a half a pound of butter.
Okay.
And then you need 2 eggs. You can have some nuts, a cup of sugar, a cup of water, a small packet of cherries, some brandy, and 3 cups of self-raising flour.
Okay.
So it's not very difficult. Just worrying about that margarine, but I almost think 500 grams is a pound, so that would be 250 grams.
Okay,
I'm quite sure 500 is a pound.
Okay,
the old pound. Okay, but we'll double check on that.
That's it.
Now, what you do is you boil these things together for 5 minutes and leave them to cool. Your packet of cake mix, your dates which you've cut into pieces, a cup of sugar, the cup of water, and your butter.
Okay.
Or margarine, and then while that's you boil it for 5 minutes, and then you leave that to cool.
Okay.
It must be cooled off. Then you sift your flour and your salt, and you mix in your cut up cherries and your nuts into that mixture.
Okay.
If you're using nuts, you don't have to use nuts, but it does add a bit of niceness to it.
Pecan nuts.
Yes, pecan nuts are good.
Perfect.
I never buy walnuts. They're more expensive and you hardly ever get them anyway.
Yes, true.
Now then you beat your eggs well and you add that to your fruit mixture and you pour in a 1/4 cup of brandy.
Okay.
Then you add your flour. So you add your eggs into your fruit mixture and then you add your flour mixture and you mix that well. And you butter a cake tin and sprinkle it with some flour.
Okay.
Just make sure that it's properly covered in flour around the sides.
Does your pre-made cake mix and all that have all its like allspice and cinnamon and everything that it needs to have in it?
It doesn't have cinnamon in it. It's just all your goodies, your fruits.
Okay, all right, perfect.
If you want to add some cinnamon things,
because I know there is variation and
you
things
can.
like that. Okay.
But this one, I've never done that, but you can.
Okay.
You can add whatever you want to. And then you, as I say, get your tin ready. It must be quite a deep tin because it's quite makes a nice size.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you bake that at 300 or about not 180, a little bit less than 180.
Okay.
So 300 is the old-fashioned one, and about 160.
All right.
For about 1 1/4 hours.
Okay.
And test that with a needle to see if it's done. You can bake it. If it's not done enough, bake it a little bit longer.
Okay.
And just then all you do is take it out, let it cool slightly, and take it out the tin.
Perfect.
And then what I always do is immediately before I put it away, put a bit of, when it's a bit cool, put some brandy, extra brandy on it.
Okay.
Make
Keep it
sure
nice
it's
and moist.
nicely covered in tin foil.
Okay.
And nicely sealed, and put it in a tin. And then you keep that, and every now and then just
Keep
adding a little bit. And I mean, you can use it anyway, straight away if you wanted to.
Yes.
It's not necessary to keep that until Christmas Day.
Okay.
I must tell you that I've made quite a few before Christmas Day, because the one's there and then somebody says, oh, can't we have some? And it's so easy to make.
Okay.
It's so quick, you know.
What is the whole tradition of keeping it for so long? Does it sort of draw flavor?
Yes, it definitely does.
Okay.
Especially if you add sprinkling a little bit of alcohol, and it definitely adds flavor.
There we go.
It matures.
Aha.
But I mean, you can have it unmatured too. There's nothing wrong with that.
There we go.
And then I've got a recipe for some bars, things that you cut into squares. They're called chewies. A friend of mine at Cinsa always makes this. And also so easy to make.
Lovely.
And nice to keep for Christmas. Nice to put in a nice little packet to send with the kids to school for the teacher, maybe.
That's a good idea,
That sort of
yes.
thing. So always useful to have and very easy. And you need 2 cups of self-raising flour, 2 cups of coconut, that's a desiccated coconut,
Okay.
2 cups of sugar,
Yes.
2 cups of cake mix, that fruit mix I'm talking about,
Okay, yes.
and 2 eggs, and 150 grams of melted margarine.
Okay.
And you mix everything together. And I always beat my eggs and then add my margarine in with that. And then you mix everything together and you press it into a Pyrex dish. And after it's been baked, you cut it into squares. You bake it at 180 for about half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. And really makes a lovely batch of
So
cookies.
that sounds lovely,
Yes, and
yes.
so easy.
And with the
tasty.
coconut and the Christmas mix, very nice.
Very nice.
And also, it's got raisins and you can even add currants and all sorts of
Absolutely.
things.
But your cake mix has got mostly all those things in it.
Perfect.
So it's a good idea to make a batch of those. And as I say, you can use them as gifts. You can use it to put towards your Christmas stash.
Exactly.
If you're going to start making some biscuits and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, always good to make a few
Especially if you're having
things.
some Christmas parties and get-togethers.
Yes, yes. And
Big
it's-
amounts of family coming over.
That's right. Always nice that you can just put a few out on a plate,
There we
a
go.
couple of slices of Christmas cake, and you're done for the day.
Fantastic.
Well, we hope you're done for the day anyway.
Well, the nice thing is if you start doing it now and preparing it at least a week or 2 weeks in advance,
Yes.
by the time Christmas is here and all the get-togethers and do's, it should relatively leave you your hands free to enjoy the company. And not be
Absolutely.
slaving away in the kitchen all day.
That's what the whole plan is, that what we're supposed to do, but so often we don't. You know how it
Yes,
goes.
poor ladies.
Poor ladies. We've got we multitask so much these days.
I know.
I mean, women
unbelievable.
at work and have to come home and do all sorts of things, but these are really very easy.
Fantastic.
So it's the easier, the better, and as tasty as any of the others.
Good. So it's a winner all round.
Absolutely. Well, now we are just baking today, so I hope
It's
the
all
ladies
sweet
can,
things, yes.
all sweet things, all things nice. Now we're going to make a simple coconut cake.
Okay,
And this is really a very easy recipe as well. You preheat your oven to 180, and then you grease a deep, round, 22 centimeter baking dish, and you can line the base of that with some baking paper or a little bit of wax wrap if you haven't got baking paper.
Okay,
That does the job too. And then what you need to do is beat 1 to 5 grams of soft butter, a teaspoon of vanilla essence,
Okay.
and 1 cup of caster sugar in a small bowl with an electric mixer until the mixture is light and fluffy. Important that it's light and fluffy, okay?
Okay.
And then add 2 extra large eggs, one by one, combining well after each one.
Okay.
And then you can beat in 1 tub of sour cream, which I never used to ever buy sour cream, but it's readily available now at our local Spar, and it's not that expensive, I must tell you.
Okay.
And it really does make a difference to things. And then you carefully fold in 3/4 of a cup of fine coconut,
Yes.
1.5 cups of cake flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a 1/2 cup of milk.
Okay.
And then mix that all together and scoop that mixture into a baking dish and bake it for about 45 minutes or until a skewer comes, when you put the skewer, it comes out
out
clean,
clear,
okay?
yeah.
And then cool that in your container and then you can take it out after that.
Okay.
And then it doesn't have a filling, but you top this with apricot jam and toasted almonds.
Okay.
Now, I think that sounds marvelous. It reminds me a little bit of those Herzog type cookies.
Yes.
Because there you've got your coconutty mix, and then your lovely apricot jam and some toasted almonds on top.
That's it.
I think that's quite nice for a tea time treat.
Yeah, something different as well.
Yes, something
other
totally
than your
different.
normal cake and iced.
Yes, yes. So I think that's quite a good idea. So I think I'll put that one on my Facebook page.
Perfect.
And I'll check to make sure that I haven't duplicated these others. But I mean, Christmas comes and you forget if you've put it on or you haven't.
Exactly.
And maybe somebody didn't listen last year and wants to bake this Christmas cake.
There are so many Christmas cake recipes that an easier one is always the option.
Absolutely. So I think I'll maybe just put the Christmas cake on again.
Perfect.
And it's so easy to make and never a flop. I've made so many of them and they all come out beautifully.
Good to know. Good to know.
So this is going to be your baking week, girls and boys, whoever's listening that wants to bake. Because a lot of men I know do bake.
They do, yeah.
So that'll be good.
And I noticed that a lot of men are really getting their way around the kitchen now. They are getting familiar with things.
Well, I think these days we all have to help.
Exactly.
I mean, if mom and dad are both working, whoever gets home first starts the food or
That's true.
starts doing things. So it's good that we can all make out and learn and know what's going on in the kitchen.
Absolutely. Sandy, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, and I hope everybody has a good week and bake up a storm, folks.
There we go.
And I'll chat to you again next Tuesday.
Fantastic. Sandy, thank you so much.
Bye for now.